I don't want to waste my time doing something like that. It's a hassle.
That's a hell of a answer. Instead of just being like, no, that's fucking evil, he was like, no, committing mass murder would too much of a hassle, too much effort.
Brandon replied that perhaps he could join the FBI. In response, the agent made it clear that wouldn't be an option for him.
Why would you answer that way? You could have used that opportunity to like reignited his passion to like become a functioning part of society. Like, yeah, if you work hard, man, like go back to school. Yeah, maybe someday you'll become a FBI agent and you'll like be helping people. But instead of taking that opportunity, that golden moment to maybe make a difference, you go, you should give up on your dreams before even starting them, chump. Anyway, take care. My job here is done. You just took away his last, like, little dream that he had. He has nothing to lose now.
It was then that Brandon's disturbing motive was revealed. Brandon was heartbroken over a My Little Pony character. In his final phase, I hope that I can be with Applejack in the afterlife.
The mass killer who murdered. He killed 8 people? All right, let's watch it. These bronies are fucking wild. No, not the fucking pony friend sticker on the hood of the Pontiac.
No, somebody's shooting in my hub. I'm at FedEx in Plainsville.
What's the address?
There's gunshots everywhere.
Okay,
Please hurry.
what is the address?
The address is 8951 Mirabelle Road.
How many shots did you hear?
I don't know if anybody got shot. Can we go out down here? Can we run on way to the end and go out?
Don't go outside. Stay where you're safe.
8951 Mirabelle Road.
I want you to stay with me, okay? Don't hang up, okay?
We always talk about these alt-right pipelines being, you know, Ben Shapiro, those old YouTube creators like, what was his name? iDubbbz. Nah, man. This guy had My Little Pony.
Year by year, she begins to worry about him. It began as a child when young Brandon Hole insisted on wearing 3 pairs of shorts at a time. That seemed innocuous enough until years later, when he developed an unusual obsession that soon went off the rails.
Jesus.
This was the bedroom of that same boy.
Oh my God.
Only now he was well into his teenage years, and his true love is depicted on the colorful posters hanging on these walls.
Okay, real talk, chap. If you walked in on your son and then like their room one day was just covered in My Little Pony, not just one poster, but like this setup, like a bunch of shit, what are you doing, honestly, in that situation?
The cartoon ponies you see are the central characters on a children's animated television series, My Little Pony. Most people would do anything for the love of their life, but few knew just how far Brandon was willing to go for his. And the ones that did know would soon wonder how they didn't see the horrific outcome staring them right in the face.
Hello?
Hi, can I speak with Brandon, please?
Oh, yeah, this is Brandon.
Brandon Hole was no stranger to tragedy. In this phone call with police, you'll quickly learn how his demons began to develop at such an early age. His mother, Sheila, estimates he was only 4 years old as she describes the dramatic incident you're about to hear.
I mean, he'd, like, be real depressed one day and be like, you know, I ought to just do what my dad did.
How did his dad kill himself?
So.
Oh, that's hard.
Did he do that?
Oh, that's tough, dude. Like, like, losing a parent is already tough, but, like, losing a parent to suicide? Oh, my God.
No, he was there when we got into a real bad argument, and his dad said that, you know, hey, whatever, if you leave with the kids, I'm going to myself, and I said, go ahead.
Memory would follow Brandon everywhere he went for the rest of his life.
She sounded so, like, carefree about that. Go ahead. And even now, she didn't sound like that remorseful or anything.
Before long, Sheila would see his struggles start to manifest in unusual behaviors, including his insistence on wearing 3 pairs of shorts at a time, the way he would rock back and forth as he watched television, and how if his routine tasks were interrupted, the whole sequence would begin again. He was eventually diagnosed with obsessive-compulsive disorder.
Yeah, that makes me empathize a lot more now. OCD. Combine that with the parent dying.
Disorder.
Yeah.
Sensing something was off, Sheila took her troubled son to Barrington Health Center in Indianapolis. But there she would learn there was more going on than she ever knew. The first visit in 2011, when Brandon was 9, would prove to be his first of many. But with every visit, the outcomes grew worse and worse. And ultimately, it all culminated in some of the most terrorizing moments ever caught on camera. Less than a year after being diagnosed with a bevy of disorders, including disruptive behavior disorder, anxiety, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and depression, Brandon's behaviors would soon become much more aggressive. Thanks to his ever-increasing temper, his mother took him back for another visit 1 year later. As it turned out, his mother's fears were no exaggeration, and the medical records are damning evidence that prove it. From excessive lying to disrespectful behavior, Brandon's temper was now only part of a growing list of concerns. But for Brandon,
oh my goodness, used a baseball bat to whack the wall because I was bored, quote unquote.
Was just the beginning. It's May of 2013. Brandon is 11. A police officer was dispatched to the home Sheila and Brandon shared with Sheila's boyfriend, Keith Larson. According to Keith, he and Brandon were engaged in a water fight, and when Keith sprayed him with the garden hose, Brandon flew into an unexpected rage. He'd locked himself in the bathroom where he proceeded to destroy items inside. Sheila alleged that she picked the lock, after which Brandon left.
So he had anger management
Sheila
as well,
became
just
his
anger
target.
issues.
That's when Brandon snapped. He punched and slapped Sheila in the face multiple times, kicked her in the legs, and bit her on the forearm.
Jesus!
She followed as he ran for the kitchen and grabbed 2 table knives out of a drawer. Then, in a mad scramble, charged at his own mother. He trapped her in the family room and wouldn't allow her to leave. It seemed like something unthinkable was about to happen. But
yeah, I was gonna guess if maybe he also had like undiagnosed BPD.
There was no escape. Police arrived in the nick of time, and the madness for now came to an end. Somehow, Sheila only sustained a small wound to her right forearm, but her fears about her son's behavior leading up to this point had been all but confirmed. The incident ended in Brandon receiving several months of probation. After that incident with his mother, everything continued in the same direction, and every year, Brandon would ascend another step on that stairway to madness. He quit school in 2014 and never got beyond the 6th grade level.
Jeez,
he stayed home, his depression ever present, and isolated from the world, worsening
he just needed
his
help.
condition.
Oh, fuck.
It seemed to manifest in his chilling search history. You've already learned about his obsession with My Little Pony, but while left alone, Brandon had been researching something far more sinister. In 2015, Brandon was assessed by the Riley Children's Foundation. His search history included an obsessive interest in mass shootings. He told the assessor that, quote, "I feel bad for the victims, the families." When asked if he could put himself in the shoes of the perpetrators, he denied it, saying, "I don't want to waste my time doing something like that. It's a hassle."
That's a hell of a fucking answer. Instead of just being like, no, that's fucking evil, he was like, no, committing mass murder would... Too much of a hassle, too much effort.
Empathize with the victims,
I'm lazy.
despite the fact that he also admitted to sharing memes
what an
and
answer.
jokes about them with his friends. Then, the day came when 18-year-old Brandon made the decision to follow through with something he'd planned to do for quite some time. It was March 2nd, 2020.
And he was like, well, drive me to the gun store and I'll just look around. On the way to the gun store, we saw a sticker that said hashtag stop the life. And he's like, there's your sign.
Jesus.
And I was like, okay, well, if you buy a gun, there's your sign. You know, I got to take that away from you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and he did buy it without bullets.
The store was out of ammunition that day. That night, Sheila and her daughter devised a plan. The situation was far too perilous, and they couldn't just sit back and watch to see what became of it. They had to act. If not, Sheila feared, perhaps Brandon would follow through and take his own life, just as his father had done several years prior. Or something much, much worse. The following morning, they traveled to the Indianapolis
So it said he killed 8
Metropolitan
people,
Police
right?
Department and filed a case report telling of his troubled past and how he planned to point his shotgun at police, thereby ensuring his death. Later that same day, on March 3rd, several officers and members of the Indianapolis Mobile Crisis Assistance Team, or MCAT, responded to Sheila's home. Upon entering, Brandon was placed in handcuffs, with the police report stating that Brandon had become quite anxious, and his main focus was ensuring that no one looked at his computer. What police would find on that computer would leave Sheila utterly shocked, with the search revealing extremist websites in his history. At this time, Brandon's gun
Random
was
$100
confiscated
bill.
under Indiana's red flag law. When Brandon was taken to Eskenazi Hospital for further assessment, she hoped he'd be put on a 72-hour hold. But instead, somehow, he was in and out in under 2 hours.
The fuck?
To Sheila's utter surprise, an emergency medicine doctor determined there was no diagnosis, and Brandon denied having any issues. What's more shocking, there's no record that indicates a formal psychological assessment was ever conducted on Brandon during this visit, despite Sheila's cries for help. A few days after the visit,
So once again, law enforcement not doing their job. What a fucking surprise, dude.
to Eskenazi Hospital, a detective contacted Sheila concerning his confiscated shotgun.
I just needed to talk to you about what happened with Brandon. My role in this is simply just to see if we're going to file a retention case. If they file a retention case, he would also be deemed to be a dangerous person, which only means that he wouldn't be able to purchase a firearm. This isn't a criminal record, and it's not, you can't even see it. Like, if somebody were to search for criminal cases and stuff, these cases don't go into there because they're just civil. Once they get filed, like if I needed to check on one, I can't even do it. I have to send an email to the prosecutor's office and ask them to look because they're the only ones that can access it, so to see like what the status of it is.
Then, when the FBI visited with Sheila the following month, they would unknowingly add fuel to the fire. An agent, along with another officer, visited Sheila's home and asked to meet with Brandon. When the agent asked Brandon what he planned to do with his life, Brandon replied that perhaps he could join the FBI. In response, the agent made it clear that wouldn't be an option for him. Perhaps this was the straw that broke the camel's back. It would be exactly 1 year to this very day that Brandon would unleash the inner demons he'd been harboring since early
Yeah, what the fuck? These law people just, what the fuck were they doing? Why would you answer that way to like, he was probably right, like that just wasn't. You could have used that opportunity to like reignited his passion to like become a functioning part of society. Like, yeah, if you work hard, man, like go back to school. Yeah, maybe someday you'll become a FBI agent and you'll like be helping people. But instead of taking that opportunity, that golden moment to maybe make a difference, you go, you should give up on your dreams before even starting them, chump. Anyway, take care. My job here is done. And like that just, his mental health was already fucked. He was already depressed. You just took away his last like little, I guess, dream that he had. He has nothing to lose now.
Childhood. At the conclusion of the meeting, all intelligence that had been gathered on Brandon revealed the last thing Sheila or any mother would ever want to hear about their own son. Brandon had all the makings of a mass shooter. Some of the red flags that the FBI may have recognized in Brandon were that he was a loner with feelings of rejection from society, as well as feeling like he was being treated unfairly.
These are all
and
super
his
common
belief
among
that he
like
was a
school
victim.
shooters.
Other
Or
red
just
flags
shooters,
that Brandon
really.
showed were his symptoms
Young
of
ones,
depression,
young ones.
homicidal thoughts, violent fantasies, and anger problems. In conjunction with the other warning signs were his traits of narcissism, and most concerning of all, his fixation on past school shootings and mass murderers. Despite the exchange with the FBI agent, Brandon, for a time, seemed to be on the up and up. He found a job in 2020, and he seemed to enjoy working at the local FedEx
he got a
SmartPost
job?
facility. Maybe this was the new beginning Sheila had hoped for after all those arduous years. Maybe Brandon was finally improving. But it wasn't the case, and in fact, he was only just ascending into peak madness. In the months before he would do the unthinkable, Brandon quit showing up for work. It seemed he couldn't bring himself to get out of bed. By October, his stint at the FedEx facility had officially come to an end. It was mid-March of 2021, and Brandon had moved back to his mother's home. Once again, Sheila had to fight the system in order to get her son in front of a mental health professional before he was finally assessed. Multiple pages of notes named a variety of Brandon's conditions, amongst them generalized anxiety disorder,
anger control,
recurrent major depressive disorder. Meanwhile, even while
I'm convinced that like he displayed signs of BPD as well, bipolar disorder. I mean, borderline personality.
he was in therapy, this is an actual list of the items he was purchasing.
I mean, I'm not a therapist. I shouldn't.
As he was making these purchases,
be assigning
he
that,
attended
but
another session with a social
definitely gave me
worker.
hints
But by
of it.
now, Brandon had reached the point of no return. The following day, he attended a session with a different social worker, stating he had no empathy and no care for the lives of others, including his own flesh and blood. 2 weeks later, in what would be his final counseling session, he stated the same thing again. But what he added this time was chilling. Brandon claimed he was a danger to society and that society should fear him. And he was right.
Marion County 911.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Multiple shots. How many shots were fired? A lot.
It started the night Brandon quietly departed home, never to return again, en route to his final destination, the FedEx SmartPost facility, sometime around 11 p.m. on April 15th, 2021. That particular evening was
wow, that was only
nothing
3
out of
days
the
after my
ordinary.
birthday.
Sheila returned home from work with dinner for Brandon and found him to be in a pleasant mood. After he ate, he took a relaxing bath. Then they both went to bed. Or so Sheila thought.
I'm gonna be real with you. A little inappropriate. I'm a little sussed out by this one. I don't know, man. I don't know what he'd be fucking doing with these dolls,
Then
bro.
they
He's
both
already
went to bed.
weird, so shit.
Or so Sheila thought. Once inside the FedEx SmartPost facility, Brandon makes his way through, savagely opening fire on everyone in his path. Then he moves through the lobby, assassinating employees at random as they attempt to run for their lives. Soon after, he returns to the parking lot and immediately opens fire on those
Not the
unfortunate enough
Applejack.
to be in close proximity. 911 calls flood local dispatchers as Brandon continues his murderous undertaking.
I think there's possibly multiple shooters. I hear them outside. I'm in the control room. There's 3 of us in here. Sorry.
Okay, so what I need for you guys to do, like I said, stay down, make sure your door is locked. Put something against that door if you can to keep yourself safe, okay?
Please. There's one upstairs.
Okay, they're on the way, they're on the way.
In a matter of minutes, the premises transformed into a nightmare.
There's somebody out in the parking lot with a rifle shooting. We got the
Jesus.
guy in here. We got.
Wait, someone in chat said, I think one of the reasons why he started killing people also, like one of the other reasons is that Applejack apparently died. Is that true? Do I have any bronies in chat? Did Applejack die? Maybe that also fucking contributed. Applejack did not die. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so that chatter was just bullshitting then.
Not even here. He's been shot. Okay. He's not even in our shack with us.
Hey, stay on the line for me. Let me get medics on the phone. I'm not going to hang up, okay? Stay with me.
There is at least one person down. Send an ambulance or 2, please.
Yeah, we have the ambulance and the officers en route.
But they have an AR-15. I'm not sure how many other guns they have, but I know they at least have 1 assault rifle.
We'll search it up after.
They're still shooting.
Okay, okay, stay on the line. They're already on the way to you, okay? But stay on the line with me. Keep yourself safe. I need you to let me know anything that happens, okay?
Right now, I just hear a lot of gunshots and a lot of people around.
Okay, hold on. Stay on the line.
The emergency calls continue to pour in as the casualties are mounting. Dispatchers frantically assist callers as the horror continues to unfold.
We have shots fired. We need police. They're still shooting as we speak. He's already shot about 5 people. The shooters in the building.
You said there were 5 people shot there?
Or he got.
The first officers are arriving at the scene. Dispatchers and responding officers communicate in
Did
real
they kill him?
time. However, in the midst of the chaos, details are not yet clear.
Have we confirmed whether we have 1 or 2?
I mean, there's always in these situations where like there's a shooter that just plans on killing at random. There's always 3 possibilities. 1, they catch him. 2, they kill him trying to capture him because there's no other way now. Or 3, the shooter ends up offing themselves because they don't want to face the
Okay,
consequences.
is it 1 person, 2 person?
Can't tell, just multiple rifle shots, but it sounds like the same report, so I'm assuming 1.
Okay, are they inside or outside?
Last they were outside.
Okay.
I'm getting information that he is still inside the building from somebody pulling off the lot.
Footage reveals that after carrying out his plan, Brandon returned to an earlier location in the FedEx facility. Without so much as a shred of hesitation, he then proceeded to end one more life, his own.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Employees on site continue to place calls, begging and pleading for help in this surreal nightmare that has been sprung upon them without warning. As far as they are aware, the shooter is still preying on victims.
Is there someplace you can get safe? I want you to stay safe, okay?
I don't know because I still hear gunshots.
Okay.
They're inside the building.
Is there someplace you can
Wait, was
hide?
there more than
Is there
one
a
shooter?
desk, something you can get under?
I'm at door 235. There is a trailer on this door. Get under,
Iron
slide
Golly.
under that.
Someplace where you
Slide
can
under,
stay safe.
please.
Okay.
Really well. Okay, stay with me, okay?
As Natasha and another employee remain hidden, well over 100 officers are dispatched to the scene.
2 more down, car in parking lot, white Toyota Camry.
Another one down by Silver Explorer, front row. Control, advise Eskenazi will have multiple patients. Advise them to be ready.
I'm outside the lobby. I had to get all the people out. He couldn't get through the turnstiles, but he was sticking the gun through. So when he went out to the parking lot, I rushed everybody back through our second set of turnstiles and sent them in the truck.
Is there a certain entrance number or door that we can note here in the run so they know where to get to you? And how many people are with you?
I can get the cops through. Uh-oh, somebody's at the door out there. Is that a police officer or is it him again?
Dude, that is scary.
It's a police officer.
Judy encounters the officers as
Yeah, I don't know how I would react to hearing gunshots.
Dispatchers check in
Like
with
actual
callers who
gunshot. Like it
remained
does
on the
something to you, bro.
lines.
The officers
I'd be
know where you
fucking
are,
scared,
okay?
bro.
Put that in there, okay?
I'm
You want to
bolting
stay on the
out
line
of there.
with me until you get there?
Don't leave me.
Okay. I'm not
Unfortunately, that's how you have to be in
I will
America.
not leave you then, okay? I'm going to stay with you then, okay? You're fine, okay? That's perfectly fine.
After more than 30 minutes with the dispatcher, Natasha's wait is over.
Like whenever, like I don't know if it's just me, but like even when I just go to restaurants or anywhere public, as like you're just walking around enjoying your time, you start looking at like exits or potential escape routes because I'm always sketched out that there at some point I just want to be prepared, sorry, in case anything fucking happens, bro.
Help.
Especially if I'm with my family.
Help.
I do that almost every fucking time.
Allegedly, because of the facility's policy that employees couldn't carry cell phones in certain areas, some workers may not have been able to phone for help or contact friends and family during the shooting. The killing spree had come to an end, but the aftermath of the attack is difficult to fathom.
He shot so many people. Oh my God, he got Oscar, and Oscar's only been here a week. They're dead out here.
8 innocent, unwitting victims' lives ended abruptly. Soon, Brandon is located by officers.
Jesus.
They confirm that he is now deceased.
The Applejack.
It was then that Brandon's disturbing motive was revealed. Brandon was heartbroken over a My Little Pony character. In his final Facebook post on April 15th, 2021, he wrote, "I hope that I can be with Applejack in the afterlife. My life has no meaning."
Oh my lord. Well, we owe that one chatter an apology. Wait, no, but that doesn't mean that she died though. He just said that maybe he can be with her in the afterlife. I don't think that doesn't necessarily mean that it's because her character died. It doesn't change the fact that it's equally fucked. Okay, we're gonna look it up after to see if the character actually died.
Yeah, I'd say that. Because I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about getting my life back on track. I don't have any mental health issues that I'm aware of. I don't think I do. And I wouldn't say depressed.
Fucking Applejack, bro.
My feelings to the reason why I got a gun is because I wanted to show my best friend who's really into hunting and stuff. Mainly also for like the fun of shooting it.
I mean, if you're getting it back on track, I don't know what it's off track of it unless it's just that you didn't get your high school diploma.
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, off track. I mean, yeah, it's that. I mean, I'd say that. I mean, do you think this, like, not doing anything with your life is on track? I mean, I don't think.
Well, no, but I also think that could make me sad and depressed if I felt like a failure or whatever. But apparently, that's not what you're feeling. So.
I just signed up for GED. I'm going to get my GED. I'm going to counseling or therapy, or I'm not really sure what the correct term is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to get my life back on track, and I'm really trying hard.
The FBI concluded Brandon's purpose was to demonstrate his masculinity and capability while fulfilling a final desire to experience killing people. It was a moment in time that further reinforced the importance of not only recognizing red...
I don't get that first part. They claimed the purpose was to demonstrate his masculinity and capability. I think it was just like ill in the fucking head, right? Where'd they take that away from? This part's true though. Final desire to experience killing people.
It was a moment in time that further reinforced the importance of not only recognizing red flags, but acting upon them too. Those 8 lives that were lost that day ranged in age from 19 years to 74 years.
19-year-old.
Matthew Alexander, Samaria Blackwell, Amarjeet Johal, Jasvinder Kaur, Jaswinder Singh, Amarjeet Sekhan, Carly Smith, and John Weissert.
My goodness.
Brandon's mother wants her son to know that when she cries these days, it's not for him, it's for the victims. If she could talk to him today, she'd say, I grieve those people more than I ever will you.
Wait, who said that? Was the mom? I'm not gonna lie. That doesn't sit right with me because like a lot of this is parenting, would you not say? Is that controversial to say? Because he was a child, right? Like when he grew up all like disturbed and shit. Do you not accept some accountability? Because like we don't know the full story, so I'm just like, again, I'm not claiming for sure it was parenting, right? But you have to kind of like dig deep into that. Like if we're taking context clues into consideration, I mean, take how she spoke about the father so easily dying. Remember when the dad was like, if you take the kid, I'm gonna off myself. And then the dad was like, and then the mom was like, okay, go ahead. Does that not like show a sign of her being, you know, extra callous, very like just, you know, not giving a fuck about anything? How do you think she raised him? Did she even help much at all with like guiding him in the right direction? Being a single mom is hard, obviously, but like with the time that she did have with him, I would like to have seen how she treated him. We never learned much about the mom and how she parented him and raised him. So just to see her so easily go for the victims, like, not you, I don't cry for you. Not to give him excuses, of course. I'm not saying like, oh, he was raised wrong, so like all of this is okay. The point is, like, what makes this sad is that like along the way here to this point of these victims, there was some level of preventability. Did Applejack die? Sweetie Belle refused, and Applejack gave birth to Apple Snack's child in stable 2. She worked 10 years in the artificial orchard, bucking apple trees, and another 10 years as a cook following a hip injury. Eventually, Applejack died of old age. After her death, she was buried in the stable 2. Oh, okay. And somebody in chat said that that's not canon, so I don't know what to fucking believe, so. But overall, yeah, just a really fucked case, dude. What the hell?